of Tatooine. Jabba ruled with fear. I intend to rule with respect.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very intense opening episode of the Boba Book Club here on the Yes Absent channel on YouTube. Abby's at a concert.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm going up.
Is this an Evanescence song?
No, man.
Boba Fett, baby!
What I bring?
Welcome, everybody. We're super excited to be back. It's been a year. We couldn't call it Midnight Mando. Sorry, we got some extra audio there. I just had to stop the music. Something weird was happening. Hello, everybody. It's been a year since Midnight Mando. And I'm not going to lie to you. We couldn't call the show Midnight Mando anymore because Mandalorian is not on right now. And none of us want to do the show at midnight.
We're all too old to stay up that late.
Bad idea that was.
We were thinking brunch with Boba. I heard that earlier.
Breakfast with Boba.
Breakfast or brunch?
Last week's episode of Boba Fett. Lots of different names were thrown around, but we're back. The crew is here. I'm excited to introduce everybody. We're all familiar. You know who we are, but we're going to do it anyway. Joining me from somewhere, a cabin in Saskatchewan, I think. Ryan Dole, you're on location. Where are you?
I am still at my parents' place in Saskatchewan, where with the wind, it is a solid minus 50.
Minus 50. All right. Well, you know, if any AT-ATs show up, you know what to do.
I'm sleeping in a tauntaun tonight.
You got to double it nat 20 though, right? You're on the
That's
metric
right.
system.
Yep.
Sleeping in a tauntaun tonight. I'm not going to say the three things I almost just said. I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
Sometimes one of us has to sleep in the tauntaun.
Jacob Walsh, what's up, man?
Listen, I don't know if I'm supposed to have toys to show off, a fuck budget prepared, Godzilla movie. I don't know what we're doing anymore.
Yeah.
Y'all too busy.
I called Jake today and said, hey, we have the Star Wars show tonight. And he said, what? What's Star Wars show? But we're excited that he's here. Abigail Gardner.
Yes.
Welcome
Hello.
to your show.
Yeah, thank you for having me back, and thank you to everyone who's in the chat. This is awesome. I missed everyone.
Yeah, we're going to go to the chat in a
special
minute
show.
and say hi to everybody. And then joining us all the way from somewhere in the Hollywood Hills, Mr. Troy Benjamin. Are you
can't
in
afford the Hollywood Hills?
No, you can't.
No.
From somewhere outside in an affordable range.
From somewhere
in California.
Yes.
Somewhat affordable.
Founder of Ghostbusters HQ and, of course, co-host of the wonderful Ghostbusters Interdimensional Cross Rip and a hell of a good man, Star Wars
friend.
Man.
A good van?
He's a good fan if you think about it.
Fans.
He's a transformer?
Sometimes.
He is. Troy, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey guys, I'm so glad to be back. This is, like you said, it's a year, and I can't believe it's been a year. I can and I cannot believe it's been a year. It's one of those things.
We haven't talked to Troy in a year.
No, we don't talk.
Yeah.
No,
When it's over,
None of us.
it's over.
None of us.
Who are you people?
Ever.
So we have a lot of catching up. Tonight we're going to be reviewing trailer 2 of Ghostbusters Afterlife, and then we're going to...
I hear it's good.
Hear it's good.
I think they showed too much.
By the way, we did a great breakdown of trailer 2 of Ghostbusters Afterlife, and Troy and Chris were there, so it's in the archives. Go check it out.
And it was 20 years ago.
It was. It
wow.
was.
Somebody removed it from the archive memory.
So
Wonderful, the mind of a child.
basically, what we're going to be doing is for the next 7 weeks, we're going to get together. We're going to go back to Friday nights because everybody's got obligations and jobs and everything else. But tonight, Boba Fett debuted last night at 3 a.m, and we wanted to get ahead of the curve. And also, we're not going to do a show on New Year's Eve. Although, the more I thought about it, I was like, I bet the YHS audience is all going to be home on New Year's Eve. They're all going to be at the club.
I'd rather be doing a show.
Yeah, honestly. At least I'll get to see my friends.
Craig and I did New Year's Eve last year. I think we did a Zoom thing, and then we ended up buying Masters of the Universe toys.
Yeah,
on
it was a
Big Bad Toy
countdown
Store.
until Big Bad Toy Store put up Masters pre-orders.
Wow.
So
It's
if
sad
you need a
when you say
YHS,
it out loud.
We'll hang out in group therapy.
We were calling each other like, which ones are you getting? Did you get this one?
I haven't even
Scare
seen
glows
the-
up. Scare glows up.
I haven't seen the listing for Stinkor yet.
Here. All right. We
So-
should do it. We'll do a YHS New Year's Eve.
Sure, we're not. We're gonna be out of town.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the whole. That's the real reason.
I like how Craig's giving me the curve.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go.
yeah. Come on, come on.
Continue.
Don't make false promises. Okay. So, anyways, Book of Boba Fett. We're super excited. We're gonna be running it down, giving our thoughts, feelings, reactions. By the way, let's go to the chat and see who's here. John Yerkeba, Ray Cameron, Jason Grosowski. I don't know his name, but he's a great man.
Growhowski.
Randalorian, Tony Taylor. By the way, head over to Crypt Creepers Toys. Figures still available, but going fast. Almost a sellout. AJ Quick, Jessica Parker, the Blue Chainsaw Man. He'll kick you out if you start acting up. Joseph Mays, and so on and so on. Stephen Lawrence, Cat Hansen, and then
Cat.
and
Cat.
Potty D walks here too.
Cat, we miss you. We'll see you soon.
It's all good. It's all good. Okay. Let's start talking about the Book of Boba Fett. The new show debuted today. It is kind of a follow-up to The Mandalorian, kind of its own thing. We're going to get into it. Let's roundtable it. Troy, I got to give you the stage.
Mhm.
Opening thoughts.
Oh my god.
Give us your high-level thoughts. What did you think?
It was fun in the sense that I was like, oh my god, we have Star Wars to look forward to, because it's been Marvel. We had Hawkeye, we had Loki, and so it took me like 5-10 minutes to like fully get back into Star Wars mode, which was kind of funny. But it's awesome. Like they dealt with all of the exposition that they had to do in such a great way with the Bacta flashbacks and stuff. And I was like, there's no way we'll see him come out of the Sarlacc. And it's like the first shot in the
I
thing.
love that. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I loved it. I dug it. I'm excited to see where it's going to go, because right now it feels very small, and I'm really excited to see it kind of open up and see the world outside of Jabba's.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. I agree with all that. Ryan?
I give it 8 credits. Are we still doing that? I
Sure,
don't know.
You can give it
Anyway,
credit.
And
I like it.
I loved it. I do, and I'm with Troy too. I like how they kicked it off, and not only do we get to see him how he escaped the Sarlacc pit, we get right inside of it, and it's disgusting and lovely, and it's so it's
Yeah.
gross.
Well,
But
inside
I-
the Sarlacc pit, there was a dead stormtrooper.
How
Was it?
I have
All of
questions.
all of our Rancor pre-orders. There's so much crap in there.
Cookie Monster has labs.
Yeah, it
Oh
was
my
great.
God.
Okay, yeah. So you give it 8 credits. You're into it. You like
I'm into it. I love the slow burn they're kind of doing with this. What it feels like already feels like a slow burn for a
Yeah.
show, right? Like, because we don't even know what they're quite setting up yet.
True.
Yeah, I agree with that.
No, I mean,
Okay. Yep.
Jake, first thoughts?
Yeah, you asked me the other day if I thought the first episode something big was going to happen, and I think I did think something big was going to happen, but it was kind of nice to have sort of a chill, like, get to know Boba episode. It was just like, cool, let's do it, especially for someone who, like, up until The Mandalorian kind of hated Boba Fett. And now
Kind of
I'm like,
hated. Kind of hated. I'm going to call you out right now. There have been plenty of times in our, like, little YHS group chat where I've been like,
Yeah.
oh, I fucking love Boba Fett. They should bring him in. You're like, fuck Boba Fett. He's shit. He's overhyped and he's shit. And
He
you
was. He 100% was, and I will stand by everything I said about Boba Fett. But that goes to show you how good Mandalorian was, because now I was like, Boba Fett's pretty cool. I like this.
yeah, now you're doing
Yeah.
tattoos
Yeah,
of him
dude.
for a living.
Yeah, dude, I was into it. And real quick, like, you talking about that whole Sarlacc pit thing. I love that. Like, for years, people are like, well, how does he get out of the Sarlacc pit? How is he going to do it? We're going to get to see it. It's 2 minutes long, and it's just like, well, he just fucking crawled out.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
didn't
it
even
wasn't that
Fucking
hard.
dive-
He fucking kill build right out of it. That's it.
Yeah, but I love that Undertaker hand out of the dirt that he does, like after a buried alive match. And
Yeah.
Ryan, I also compared Boba to The Undertaker. And when Craig played the music for me the first time today for the intro to this show, I was like, yes, this is wrestling music. He's was talking about how much like his return and his like sexiness and how brutal it is like, I like it. I like that it's the episode had little dialogue for pretty much, it felt like a log
Yeah.
portion of the episode when Boba was kind of going on his journey and being beaten down, and you're like kind of feeling that. I loved when it comes though to the beginning of the episode, I agree with all y'all on the Sarlacc pit. It was like just such a cool immediate answer to what we were all wondering, which is how does this happen? And it's like, all right, let's move on. And I like the setup of this episode. I'm very pumped to see more. I would give this 8.5 tentacles.
Ooh.
I still
I like where we're going with this.
Now,
But does like when he's in the Sarlacc though, it reminds me of like when you're a kid in a ball pit, you sink to the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
That's
Yeah.
what that's like.
That just reminded me of that one time that McDonald's had a nest of rattlesnakes inside the ball pit.
You still have Stormtrooper in there.
Atlanta's wild.
So I really love Return of the Jedi. So anything adjacent to it, I'm all in on. Showing the Sarlacc pit, amazing. Crawling out, destroyed Jabba's sail barge. I love it. I was like, but in my mind, I was like, well, how long after the events of Return of the Jedi, like, you know, after the battle, everyone bails. And then was this an hour later? Was this a day later? Like, are we going to see like Luke and
Hal
Han in
Clay
the
brought up
background?
that same thing to me today as well. Like, how long was he in there for? 2 years?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Are we going to see Han Solo in the background, like doing his eyes, like, oh, I'm still having trouble
R2 serving
adjusting.
drinks.
So was Max Rebo on the sail barge? Because he survived.
Oh, I meant to say, Jake, you
Hey.
said there were,
Was it
there was
Ben
chaos
Fortuna
going on.
on the barge too?
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
people apparently survived
Yeah.
the sail barge.
Mhm.
Well, there's
Okay.
lifeboats, right?
Sure.
They,
Like, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Bib
Coming soon to
Fortuna,
Hasbro Pulse.
Life skiffs.
Bib Fortuna's like laying on a door, you know, and it's like Titanic. But
Yeah, but there's no way Bib Fortuna and all those Gamorrean guards could fit on that door in the sand.
That's why there's only 2 Gamorrean guards left.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Okay, so just kind of kicking it off, I like the narrative storytelling that they're doing here. I like that we're seeing the flashbacks that kind of show us what happened to Boba Fett after the events of Return of the Jedi. Obviously, we know from The Mandalorian that he teamed up with the Tusken Raiders and the Sand People at some point. So we're seeing how that happened. As the story unfolded, we're seeing him be in the situation, earning the trust of these people. But and as interesting as that stuff is, I'm more invested in where this story, kind of like Troy was saying, like, where is this going? Like, okay, Boba Fett is now going to be the crime lord of a nice benevolent.
Benevolent?
Benevolent.
is that a new Star Wars creature? Is that a new creature?
Yeah,
Is that
that's
what
the name of the
sand
creature from the
called?
end.
Oh, the
The
benevolent.
benevolent,
Benevolent.
kind of fair crime lord, a little bit different for now.
Okay, yeah. Crime
Um,
lord with a heart. He won't torture.
well,
I've
we'll
seen
see.
Breaking Bad. I've seen it.
Oh, we
knows
know
that?
that.
I am the one who knocks.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of our favorite stuff in the episode. We don't have to go in order. Like, everybody watched, everybody saw what happened in the episode. So let's just kind of roundtable it, talk about some of our favorite moments, things that really got our Star Wars juices going. Because I know there was a couple times for me where I just went like, "Oh shit, this is something cool," and I'm excited that my eyes are looking at it.
Yes.
I feel like a benevolent.
I was an elephant in the room watching.
Ryan, you can kick it off.
I can kick it off. All right, I'll try to say, I won't say everything because there is a lot in this episode that I thought was super, super cool as far as world building. I think that was Mos Espa that we were walking through.
Yeah.
But I'll just kick it off. Let's talk about those. They got Hotmail Twi'leks now. That is something we never had before, which I thought was kind of cool.
MG at
They're
Jennifer
usually
Beals
like
spot.
they just got those. Usually got the big foreheads and the sharp teeth. They're all I'm a Twi'lek, right? And this guy was all like, "Can I shine your helmet?" Right? He was all, and then they had like babes everywhere, and I like that they had the Rex droid from Star Tours dealing cards.
Yeah.
So it kind of made the Disney park, the Batuu, feel more connected now to things. And I just like that whole nightclub because we brought him up, Max Rebo, Was that Fragrant Dan? They were playing a cover of the song
It
from the
was like
cantina.
the Latin jazz version
The
of
Latin
it. too.
jazz
version.
I have a theory. I have a
Okay.
theory.
Well,
Okay, let's hear it.
I think the cantina music from A New Hope is actually a cover of what they were playing. I think the Latin jazz
That's the
version is
original.
the original.
Oh, that's the original band?
Yeah, that's
Oh.
the original.
Okay.
Well, because it was a hive of scum and villainy, so I could see some like cover band coming in and just being like, let's do some Kiss
Grunge
covers,
version.
Brown Eyed Girl, and Cantina
yeah, they
Band.
don't know.
By the way, I think it's kind of like, I think that's like a super group, like Figure and Dan. Is that it? Figure and Dan?
Yeah, figure
Yeah,
out little nodes.
Fingering Dan.
Finger and Dan and Max Rebo. That's like Audio Slave or something.
Dude, stripped down project.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to add actually, Jake, you said that nothing like major happened in the episode. Like it wasn't like what's the thing that everyone's talking about. For me though, Max Rebo's appearance like was a moment that I screamed and got very excited.
That's as big as Luke
Yeah,
Skywalker.
For me
to some people.
personally, yeah, like I'm a huge Rebo fan. It's really cool to see him playing again.
Yeah, the show
Yeah.
never gets better for Abby. She's just like,
No,
"What the
that-
fuck is
this-
Max at?
10 out of 10
Peaked with
tentacles.
Rebo.
You're gonna show us Max in the first episode and never pull
Fuck
through with that
me.
storyline?
Yeah, well, exactly.
That better be a backdoor pilot.
Dude,
Max,
fuck.
it turns out Max Rebo is the mayor.
actually, dude, like I want the plot to be circling around Max Rebo, and I wanted to mention Garza Fwip is the owner of the sanctuary, the cantina we're talking about, and she's played by Jennifer Beals, who is from like L Word fame and Flashdance, and I'm a huge fan of hers, and was really excited to see her on screen.
What did she call it? She called it a utopia?
Her like a little
Sanctuary.
slice of paradise or
Sanctuary.
something.
A little
like
slice
that.
of paradise.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Paradise.
Well,
Yeah.
it definitely didn't feel, and anybody who wants to chime in on this can, it did not feel like your normal place you see on Tatooine, right? Everything on Tatooine's kind of like,
Yeah, it was
Or even in
different.
Star Wars so far.
Well, the fucking Jabba's gone. The Emperor, it's everybody's a little more chill now. If Jabba was the one ruling over the town and he's fucking dead somewhere, so maybe
Right.
they're all just like, fuck it. Well,
Relax.
Let's just hang
Yeah.
By the
out.
way, not to go
I don't
back
think
to
anyone took Bib Fortuna seriously either.
No.
That's what it feels like.
you know who should
That
join
dude.
that band with Max Rebo and Figure and Dan? That singer from the Galactic Star Cruiser that everyone loves.
Yeah.
They bring her in.
Ah.
Bring her in.
See, I thought you were gonna say the head in the jar from Solo, and I was down. I was like, "Oh, Craig, that's a great idea."
I don't even know what you're
Front row
talking
What do you
tickets,
think-
head in the jar.
There
The
was
head
an
in the jar.
R5 unit that was playing the drums.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
What do
Who's
you
got-
think? My first gut reaction was, I hope his name is Drum 2 Beat 2.
That's cute.
Oh,
I
But
hate that I
no one
just like it.
okay, fine.
I like
If
it.
you can come up with something better, Troy, writer.
can't on that one.
Troy, how about you? What's some stuff that stuck out as wow
All
moments
of
for you?
the tributes. Like, so when
Yep.
Fennec goes up and wakes up Boba and says, they want to pay tribute to you, and everybody comes in, and so you get the Trandoshan that looks like Bosk, and
Oh, I
then
loved that.
the
I love they
sassy
handed him
Twi'lek.
like a pelt
Fucking-
Yeah.
of a Wookiee.
Happy life.
And then I think that's supposed to be oh shit, what's the torture droid's name from Return of the Jedi?
Oh,
God, I always want to say EV99, but that's the bartender now.
Yeah.
It's I'll get. I know the name.
Hal
It's
Clay, I
88?
know you're in the
88,
chat.
something like that.
How did he walk?
Potted Ewok, looking at you.
Yeah,
That's
but
not
anyway, but having him be there to kind of be the one announcing all of the guests coming in, and that being Matt Berry,
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
fucking blew my mind.
I recognized his voice immediately, and it first of all, I was like, "Fucking Matt Berry is in Star Wars," but then I was also disappointed because I was like, "Oh, I want Matt Berry to be a more important character in Star
Something
Wars."
else. Yeah, real salt of the earth, that guy.
Yeah,
Well, he could be reoccurring, so I mean,
sure. Yeah.
and he's like, he's a I don't know. He's one of those characters we all know just because of the toys. More
Right.
so like
Yeah,
that's cool. I don't know. That'd be cool. I would love
And-
to get that role.
and from torturing the feet of poor droids,
Poor
Um,
gonk droids.
Yeah. But so I thought that whole scene was great, and it really set up it kind of was the good lead into here's how Boba and Fennec are going to start running things. And I love that Fennec is by his side and telling him, don't do that. And he just is not listening right now. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, those two are gonna fight.
Mhm.
I think at some point.
Um,
I think she's gonna have enough of his shit. And
Were you guys referring the droid you're referring to? I missed it. Are you talking about the one that was kind of like the one
He
introducing?
was announcing everybody.
Yeah,
with
that's
the, with the really narrow face.
8D8, right? Is that? I mean, that's the
what
original
I thought.
one.
Yeah, but in the chat, so Jason and a couple other people are saying it's UK2B according to IMDb, but I don't IMDb. You know, you never know. That could have been old.
Could have been UB40. Red wine. It's not
When is
UB40.
that?
It's
Although,
U2.
happening?
UK-47.
maybe somebody brought some red wine for a tribute. I was expecting Jack Black to show up and be like, "This is just a tribute." I loved that scene. I thought all of that was really cool. It allows them to kind of cycle through, do a little bit of character building, show you what Boba's all about, also give you some fun like winks and nods, and then the character, was it the Twi'lek looking guy who came in and was
Twi'lek looking guy? No, that was just a Twi'lek.
a Twi'lek?
Yeah, the major
was-
domo.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
behalf of the mayor, that guy.
Yeah,
So let's
that-
that seems like it's going to have big implications. So let's talk
Sure.
about
Yeah,
that.
future conflicts gonna come from there.
Jake, I thought that guy was pretty funny. Do
I
you think
like-
this? Yeah, go
Yeah,
for it.
no, I like that guy, and I tried to look him up because he like sort of seemed familiar to me, but I don't know who that actor is. But yeah, that whole thing was cool, and it's clearly setting up a big issue within the show. I'm excited to kind of see who the fucking mayor is. You know, if he's
Right. That's going to be the thing. Like I think they gave the mayor a name, didn't they?
there was a name, but I don't know.
Yeah.
He's
We're
the,
doing
he's
a
the
Star Wars
hammerhead in the
show.
trailer, isn't he?
Oh,
Let's
maybe
see.
that's
Isn't
what
he?
it is.
I don't know.
That's what Hal says. But
well, what is
Mock-
Hal?
Mock
know?
Shies.
What
Hal's
is-
just a Photoshop.
yeah,
Y'all.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I was actually kind of hoping the mayor was going to be Watto because they're in Mos Espa,
Right?
But he's busy.
That would be amazing.
He's too old.
or
He's
it
too
could be
old now.
Kitster.
He's not
Did you
like
see
which was
how
what
long-
Troy
Troy said?
voted.
Did you see how much he aged in between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones? He was dead before Revenge
Yeah.
of the Sith.
He
He was
barely
like-
recognize Annie.
Hey, speaking of Attack of the Clones, we live in a world where they're flat out giving us like Attack of the Clones flashbacks in Star Wars shows, and people are all
And
about it.
we love it.
I was
Yeah.
like, yes,
Yes.
young Boba Fett. I've been wanting to see that. And that
I wanted to see the up angle shot of him holding his dad's helmet.
Well, one of the
But again,
things-
that proves my point. Episode 2 is the epicenter of Star Wars.
one of the things that this episode does, and Mandalorian did it a lot, is like having droids like from the prequel series era mixed in with like original trilogy stuff, and it just kind of, it just pulls it together for me. Like whenever they're walking around, there's a couple other droids that you're like, those are right out of the prequels.
right,
But-
right.
But putting them in and mixing all that, both like levels of trilogies together, I
Yeah.
like that stuff.
Were those pit
Haven't
droids
seen
that
any
were like
be-
putting his armor on? Oh, sorry.
Oh, the
Craig.
wardrobe droids?
Yeah, were
Yeah,
those,
I'm just calling them
pit droids?
wardrobe droids because I
Yeah.
think I want toys of them. If Hasbro doesn't give me a 2-pack at the next Fan First Friday, it's going to be a goddamn riot.
The
Hey, I
floating
like
butler
Boba's
droid.
I like his new outfit with the black underneath and like the shiny orange. It looks good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that scene was very cool with like the assembly of it. It's got like that Schumacher feel of watching everything be put on, but
Yeah.
it's also like
They didn't show the
Got that
nipples.
Schumacher
What if
feel.
he's got nipples?
yeah, well, we didn't see that, but also I want to say that I'm happy for Boba being back and like kind of like taking the role and being awesome in it. I know there was some like annoying things being said about Boba when he returned to Mandalorian, so I think it's really cool that it's like
Well, I think
back.
Boba Fett is a character that, like, not everybody feels this way or has not always, but like, I think Star Wars fans have always considered him like a beloved character. Like, I think people like Jake, I don't disagree in your opinion over the years of asking like, okay, well, why? And I think for a lot of
Right.
people, they just saw Boba Fett at a young age and thought he was really cool looking and took a liking to him.
Right.
But that's
Um,
exactly it, though, because he is cool looking. And he's
Yeah.
another one of those characters, too, where we knew nothing about him. So we got to, like,
Yeah.
again, it comes down to headcanon, got to feed your imagination with that character. He's your Snake Eyes in that weird way, right? So
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
to use a
I-
G.I. Joe reference that Jake also hates. So just gonna throw that.
Oh, I thought you. I thought you meant the Nick Cage movie with Ernie Hudson. By the way, they are bringing in droids from the other trilogies. Haven't seen a lot of BB-8 units running around the Jon Favreau universe so far. Just putting it out
Oh
there.
yeah, good point.
Yeah.
I do, but I do think that these shows like will build towards. We're going to see more sequel trilogy stuff, kind of injected as it goes. Like
We are seeing more like Rogue One aliens and like. We are seeing more of those sequel trilogy aliens kind of showing up in these shows. So I mean, they're slowly starting to integrate them, but not in big strides.
I want to talk about this real quick. When the sequel trilogy was coming out, and Force Awakens came out, and they would have like Maz Kanata's Cantina and all that stuff. They made it a point to really create a lot of new characters, not a lot of the same species we've seen in Aliens and stuff like that. And it was a point of contention for a lot of classic Star Wars fans who were like, new stuff is great, but like it would be Ryan's like me. And Troy, I don't know if you had any feelings about that kind of stuff. But now it really seems like Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, they're really leaning into showing you new stuff, but also a healthy dose of the stuff you might be familiar with. Like we didn't see Bosk, but we saw somebody who's Bosk's species, and we liked it. And it's exciting. Or you throw in, like, we spent 5 minutes talking about Max Rebo. He was on screen for 30 seconds, but it felt good knowing he's doing okay and he's just doing his thing. So Troy,
He has very expressive eyes,
he does,
like a Beanie Baby.
He does. Oh, should we talk about Beanie Babies?
Next time.
It's our other podcast that we're
That's the other
recording
yes,
tonight.
Beanie Baby Babies. Book of Beanie Babies.
Book of
Beanie Baby bumpers.
But Troy, I kind of wanted, like, as a writer and a content creator and somebody who's passionate about Star Wars, do you fall in line with any, this is the right way to do it? Do you understand why maybe J.J. Abrams, Kathleen Kennedy didn't want to go down that road at first, and now they're maybe coming around to it? I just kind of want to get your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tricky. It's the same sort of, like, we're living in this time now where in the span of 4 months we had a Ghostbusters film that was a legacy sequel that had all of that iconography that you saw and you were familiar with. The Matrix just came out last week, and same thing. It's all based upon that nostalgia and showing you things that you loved from the 90s and trying to incorporate them into something new that will continue to branch things out. So half of the reviews that I saw this morning of Book of Boba Fett were, it's a healthy dose of nostalgia and it hits all the notes. And it's like, but that's not the only selling point of it now. Like that, it's expanding upon a story that we all grew up on in the 80s. And then, kids in the next generation who grew up with the prequel trilogy went back and watched the home videos, and that's not really their trilogy, but they respect it. So it's tough because they have to now feed into people who love the original trilogy. They have to feed into people who love the prequels. They need to feed into people who love the sequel trilogy. And there's a lot of people that jumped on at Mandalorian. So you have 4, not separate fandoms, but 4 different entry points that are now feeding into this one conduit. So you have to kind of give everybody a little bit of something. So I think us talking about Max Rebo and 8D8 and seeing the Sarlacc pit and Bobo crawling up from that.
Well, even just seeing Twi'leks and Rhodians.
Yeah, exactly. Seeing those aliens we haven't seen, since the prequels, right? Did we see a Rhodian or?
Oh yeah, we saw lots of them.
See him a lot in the Clone Wars. Yeah.
Yeah. But so it's like that fed into that group. And then the people that really dug Mandalorian, if you watch this, it kind of plays just like that first pilot episode of the Mando show, because you're trying to bring those people back in or bring in the casual viewers and get them to care about stuff. So man, it's hard. And they only had 35 minutes to do it. I think it was like a 35-minute show, 38-minute show. So real quick, I respected it. It crammed a lot into that tiny amount of time.
Matthew Hennig says Disney wanted to use new characters to avoid paying George Lucas legacy royalties, but I think they've given up. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's true. Maybe not. I don't know. If Matthew says so, I agree with him. But it's an interesting thought. Like I understand wanting. That's kind of where we are with all of these IPs, is trying to strike a balance between new and old and fan service. And is fan service good? Is it bad? Does it even mean anything?
Does
right?
it exist? Or
Is it even an entity? Like, Jake, you think it's a thing?
Isn't it fan service by saying Star Wars? Sorry, Jake. I didn't mean to step
No,
on you, but
no, that's
it's
right.
Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it doesn't make sense to, like, when you're talking about something like Star Wars, where there's all of these races and aliens and characters and droids, and there's all these different planets, and we're on Tatooine for the purposes of the plot. It doesn't make sense for it to be all new. Like, it only makes sense for it to be a mix of stuff we've already seen and new stuff,
Right.
because that's just how it would be. And I like that they bring in stuff even from the movies or scenes that maybe I didn't like, because when the writing's good, something that Mandalorian did a lot, like with Boba Fett, when the writing's good and you bring in stuff from maybe the movies or pieces of movies that maybe didn't go over as well, it makes you kind of forgive it a little bit. And it made me like forgive, there are scenes in Mandalorian and even in the sequel trilogy that it makes me kind of forgive things that I hated in the prequels, so
It elevates, yeah.
Clone Wars did that. Like, it made me love the prequels far more just because it filled in all of that backstory.
Yeah.
Oh, the ultimate is gonna, and not to get too off base, but when Obi-Wan comes out, it is gonna be like the ultimate. There's gonna be, you just
Service
know it's gonna be flashbacks. It's gonna be Ahsoka and Hayden Christensen's
Oh
gonna
my
be there,
God.
and it's just
Give
and it's
it to
gonna
me.
be gonna be so good.
Mhm.
I guess we should mention this. This show has all the ingredients of The Mandalorian. It was last night's episode was written by Jon Favreau. We know Robert Rodriguez of Spy Kids fame and other things.
Desperado. There was a lot of
Desperado.
Yeah.
There was a
Like-
lot, yeah.
I don't know. Some of the stuff made me think of Desperado.
Yeah, and then the music, I can't. Ludwig, I can't. It's the same score.
Goranson or something like that.
And the Mandalorian music is like
Oh,
that.
fucking-
Mandalorian has become my Star Wars entry point. Like, that's the best. That's my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Return of the Jedi doesn't exist anymore to Craig.
no,
It's
no,
just
no.
this-
Mandalorian's a start.
No. Yeah.
So yeah, let's start breaking down the plot a little bit. Let's talk about Fennec Shand, the return of Fennec. You want to talk about new, because that has no roots in old Star Wars. Abby, tell me about Fennec.
Dude, I mean, I was watching Fennec on the Bad Batch, like it feels recently. It was probably a year
Could have been a
ago
year
when it came
ago.
out.
No one knows.
I think that she's a fantastic character and is extremely unpredictable. The fact that she's like kind of goes rogue and does her own thing as like a mercenary or whatever, but has a good heart and like a
She
soft
has a
spot.
loyalty to Boba,
Yeah,
clearly.
a loyalty. It's almost like she's probably endured some difficult stuff in her life and like has that empathy, which I think is great. And she's also like a badass. There was that one of the fighting scenes. I think she kicks a dude, but like the look of glee on her face and like she shows her teeth. It's just like she really gives it all on screen.
When she threw the
being
dude
like-
on the shield, it
Yeah,
looked
I think that's what I'm
like
talking
painful.
about.
And then she does her
Fight scene.
parkour.
Yeah.
Hey, did Boba Fett disintegrate a guy?
He did. Yeah.
Okay,
No
yeah.
Darth
disintegration.
Vader's
The guy that's,
so
like,
mad
climbing
about
up.
that. Darth is like, what did I say? So yeah, Fennec's great. I think she's somebody who was introduced very briefly in Mandalorian, then obviously had a major role in season 2. It's just one
She's
of those
appeared in
characters.
Bad Batch since
She was
then
in
as
Bad
well.
Batch, and I was
Mhm.
excited to see her. Like, she's obviously, this is about her and Boba, and we're gonna probably learn a little bit more about why that loyalty exists. I'm guessing.
Omega.
Well,
That's
he saved
why.
your life.
Can we also talk about how
You
she
saved your
shows up in
life.
the Lucasfilm logo now too? Like, she is that important that her face mask is right there with the Stormtrooper and Darth
Yeah.
Vader and
Right,
stuff.
yeah, and that flashes.
Is Captain Phasma on there? I don't think so.
Constable Zuvio, is that you?
He did appear. He was in the
yeah,
street.
did you see him go by?
Yeah.
He was in this Zuvio again.
Yeah.
He's
He
made
did it again.
Hey,
Oh, it's so
you know
good.
how
Watch.
the Constable Zuvio Black Series figure was like the biggest joke forever? As soon as that character appeared in that first episode of season 2 Mandalorian, I moved it from my Force Awakens shelf to my Mandalorian shelf, gave it a prominent space. I'm all about Zuvio now.
But I love that he's appearing everywhere.
Yeah,
Mm.
I love it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
he's like Waldo. put him in the logo.
Yeah, just put him in everything.
So okay. Fennec, any other thoughts on her and what she had going on in this episode? I mean, the scene Abby was just referencing was in the main timeline where a bunch of like mercenary dudes attack Boba and her.
Can we kind of talk about how she's loyal, but she's also kind of stern with Boba?
Yeah.
Like they're not like, they don't talk like buddy. She's very like stern with him. Like,
what's a good
get your
comparison?
pants on. There's people outside with gifts. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
She's tough. Yeah. And I like the crime lord dynamic. Like I like that they're like, it's like the Sopranos. Like they're going around to all the local businesses to pick up
That's
their
a good comparison.
I'm going to be a nice guy and people will respect me. She's like, fucking kill him.
Right?
Boba Fett has some of that Anakin. He's like, I wish I could be their leader and make them, they'd all listen to me and I'd tell them what to do.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's get into some of the backstory of Boba Fett escaping the Sarlacc pit, getting mixed up, and he basically is imprisoned by the Tusken Raiders. Is that what is that?
He gets jacked by the Jawas. That one Jawa takes the end of the freaking gun and knocks him out.
Yeah.
Dude, Jawa's robbing him of his armor.
Jacked by Jawas.
So funny. I loved that.
But what's great,
he got rolled.
That's in the Aftermath book too. It was kind of funny how like echoes of that Aftermath book started coming back, seeing these, because that's where Cobb Vanth ends up getting the armor from, is from the Jawas, and that's how. So that leads into what we saw at the beginning of season 2 in Mando. So it was cool to just kind of see this. It's like, oh man, they really are, the canon within the books really is connected to this. They're really thinking this shit out and showing it on screen.
Yeah, they kind of reminded me of Jawas of Doom. There was like a old Marvel comic for Star Wars that came out after Return of the Jedi, where Boba Fett rockets out of the Sarlacc pit. He crashes. The first thing that happens is a bunch of Jawas are like, we're gonna take him.
Do you think the Jawas were watching the whole sail barge thing, kind of like
absolutely
100%?
If people are watching the Death Star battle at the bar, there was definitely a local sports thing where they're just watching like Jabba throw people into Sarlacc pits. They were ready.
Grilling.
That's what I was thinking.
I want that. I want him.
That was fun.
Colin dibs.
Having a rooftop barbecue on
there.
Yeah.
Well, there's a community there. They like to.
There's a community.
Yes.
A community of just jerk Jawas.
Well, you pass down those traditions, and
Utidi. I'm gonna take that.
So
I liked all these different Tuskens, seeing all their different kind of wardrobe. In the original trilogy, they're all just wearing the same thing. But they're very cool in this, and especially whoever the like leader is.
I want to say it's a shaman.
He looks so cool.
Yeah,
he or she, like, they look amazing. Like, I love that character
with the necklace thing.
Yeah, he's got that necklace. Who gives Boba the water thing? Like he
like passes it over. Like, here you are, bud.
Yeah,
that's a great moment.
The woman that kicks Boba's ass. Is
I
do miss the female Tusken Raiders from.
I was about to ask you about that. They kind of change in episode 2. All the females look as very, and I didn't see any that were wearing that in this.
I think it's a complete. I think this kind of proves now we've got different tribes with different looks, because these ones had different tents than what we saw in episode 2.
Yeah.
And like you said, they have like the black, which looks so awesome.
It looks good.
And that 12, 13-year-old with the giant big eyes and where he looks like he had to grow into his helmet, the boy and his dog. Like, oh, dude, it was. I love Tusken Raiders. They're so cool.
That scene with the dog when he's watching it and it's watching him, but he like doesn't care that it's staring at him. He's still, and it just slowly starts walking towards him. I love that.
The massives.
Yeah, the massives. Now, Abby, the massives.
Yeah.
Is that the creature we read about?
I don't have it in this. It is called a massive, which is like kind of reminiscent, I think.
Abby's got this book that talks about.
Well, I have a book which I talked about on the Bad Bitches back when we were running that, and this is like
Is this
I was
that
talking about-
depressing book where
Yeah,
the
basically,
fucking
it's
bantha
essentially- there's a
jumps off
page
the
in here.
cliff or something?
The Bantha and the Tusken Raider have a symbiotic relationship, and when the Bantha is wed, or excuse me, when the Tusken Raider is wed, the Bantha also takes a partner, and whenever one of them dies, the other one commits suicide.
Yeah.
In like tandem.
Yeah, the bantha. If a Tusken Raider dies, the bantha launches itself off a cliff.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's all
Pretty
it's
dark
all
stuff.
canon. None of it's canon,
It's
but
all
it's all
in
in
the
this book.
What is the Greedo dude that's also prisoner? With what is
an
their,
asshole.
What is their species called? Rodian. Is that it?
Rodians,
Rodian.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, first of all, Boba escapes, which is awesome, and then he's like, "Hey, I can help you." And the guy's like, "I don't want help.
Just
I like being a
tells on
prisoner."
him.
He
Yeah.
tells on him.
Yeah.
Pretty intense scenes. I really like that stuff. Dude, the makeup work was really good. Like, man, Boba looked rough.
Crispy.
He looked
Yeah.
really,
Dusty.
really rough. Yeah.
He looked like E.T. when he was dying in a lake.
Yep. Yep.
He did. Yeah.
He really
Did.
did. Best
In the
comparison.
creek there's Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Speed
Elliot.
spell.
So I'm trying to kind of piece together how that all goes. So he gets captured again. How do they end up? I watched it twice. How do I not know this? How do they end up at the scene at the end where they're digging?
The
Oh, that's
kid,
what it is.
so the kid
takes him.
just
Mhm.
takes them. The kid says, "Fuck it, I'm taking these guys." And then when they go out to this, like, there's just a house, and there's a family who are being like ransacked by biker space gang who are wearing like leather jackets and tagging.
Swoop bike gang.
What?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a swoop bike. That's a callback to Shadows of the Empire. Like,
Yeah,
if you
they're all
played the
swoop bike.
N64 game and
I
read the
lo-
book, like
I loved
Yeah.
that they were like in leather jackets with their like
Yeah.
patches on the back and shit.
It was
That
really
was
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
So I think this leads us to one of the most important questions that I had coming out of this episode. And I need this panel of people to help me discuss and figure out what the fuck are these water pods? Why are they in the sand? I don't understand. Is it a nut that's
So this
full
is what
of
Kat
water?
brought up.
If it is a nut under the sand, there's ant life around. What are they?
I think
Beach coconuts.
Hold on, let me read Kat's comment.
Under the tree.
Can we talk about this water pot thing? So satisfying in a Willy Wonka edible plant kind of way. Yes, very satisfying. I agree with that.
Mhm.
Do we know what those are?
It's like a potable, like a portable, like you put your water. This is what I
You
was wondering.
you
is
think
whether
people are putting the water in and then burying
and
these?
storing it? Yes, because of the high temperatures. I don't know what the refrigeration situation is. So I
With
would
think it's
imagine
no markers, though, to know
No,
they're in the desert.
exactly. Well, maybe it's the kind of thing where if you stumble upon someone's camp or something, or at their homestead, you could maybe, I imagine, just digging for water is just that's how they store it, is what my guess was. I didn't know whether it was a vessel that they created and like pottery type of thing, or if it was like a
That
vegetable
seems
husk.
ludicrous to me. Boba Fett, when he finds one, he cracks it open. It makes me think that whatever they are just naturally have
it's like a
water
coconut with water inside.
Right.
Yeah.
Abby,
Okay,
I
so
like-
you think it's a plant that produces water?
don't-
Did
I just don't know
that
where it
creature just
comes from.
accumulate them? The big Harryhausen character, that creature, did it accumulate them and put them around while it was hibernating?
Oh.
maybe?
Then how did they
And-
know?
That's what I'm
then how did they know where
Yeah.
to dig? Like, I don't understand.
I don't
There's
know.
so many. It's weird that we're watching fucking Star Wars and this is what we're hung up on the
Where's
water
the water
pods.
coming from?
I think
I
we've
yeah.
all
don't
gone
understand
nuts.
them at all.
Is it self-sustaining and organic, like plant
It
life,
makes no
or
sense.
is it?
I think we're circling it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I do like, from a creative standpoint, I like your idea that it's like a
It's-
man-made thing.
Yeah, because refrigeration.
But I don't think that's what it is. But it could, if you want it to be, it can be.
I want it.
And then why would you have
It's
moisture
not.
farmers? Like Kat brought it up too. Like, why would you have the Skywalker farm that has the moisture evaporators that are pulling in the moisture from the air and turning them into water? Like, if that grows somewhere or is something natural, why don't
Mhm.
you have farms of that? That's what
Right.
I don't
Maybe they
understand
do.
either.
Maybe
Yeah.
they
Maybe
have
do.
like
Yeah.
tractors that they like scoop these things up and hoping not to get one of those.
Right.
But
filled
where's
tipping
the
monsters.
where did it come
Canteen.
from? Where's the rest of the plant? There's just a nut full of water just in the dirt.
That-
It makes
That's
why
a
I think
space
it's
peanut.
sense.
That's why I think it's a story.
It's a space nut.
It's a canteen.
But Abby, that makes no sense because who would just bury them randomly in the desert where there's literally the desert's mile, the whole planet is a
weren't
desert.
random.
You wouldn't know where they were at.
Weren't they like surrounding that creature that looks like the
Yeah.
Harryhausen?
But they didn't know
stop
the
motion.
was there, right?
Well,
They didn't know
maybe
that
he put
creature
them there.
was there.
No, maybe that creature put them there.
So that
That's what I'm
creature.
saying. Yes.
Hey, the whole saga's flawed.
I don't watch
Where have we
Star
gone
Wars
with this?
anymore.
I don't want this
It
SJW
makes no
nut
sense.
burial.
Hey, by the way, that creature straight up is the Kraken. It is
Yeah.
straight up the Kraken from Jason and the Argonauts. Like
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
identical, except for it doesn't have
It even
A
moves
fish
like
tail.
it's a
Mhm.
like it was
Four
done like with
arms.
like go motion. I better
Clash
say
of
that
the
correctly.
Titans. Yeah.
Clash of the Titans is
Yeah.
what I meant. I said Jason and the
Mhm,
Argonauts.
yeah.
Same thing.
But no, same idea though. That Phil Tippett kind of like
Yeah.
Puppetry,
Mhm.
and that it even moved like it.
But I
What
think
is
it
the-
was
No,
it practical. It was when he's like strangling the puppet with he's like choking out Jabba again with the chain.
Yeah.
That was like dude in a rubber mask. It looked like it.
Yep. Same with the way it walked. Like when it would go from like 4 arms to like 4
Right.
legs, and the way it moved, it just looked like an old
How-
70s style
Yeah.
monster.
The way
How
that it
Clay
arches up.
says it's a forearm Ymir.
It is, but
Ymir?
Ymir is also the Kraken is also a four-armed Ymir. They have the same head. So yeah.
So,
We agree it looks awesome.
well, it
looks
kinda-
awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
It harkened back to the first episode of The Mandalorian last year where he fought the Crate Dragon. A little bit smaller scale, but still very cool.
Yep.
Or the
Well, I like
horn
it when it's just
monster,
kind of like
the-
Gozer's, not Gozer's. I guess it would be Zool's
The hands
out of the
Mhm.
sand.
Yeah, that's a cool moment.
You had to bring it up, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. You want to fight?
Can I
You know
say
I
that
can't emotionally handle Ghostbusters talk.
it's throwing me off that the chat looks like they keep saying MailChimp. And
Me too,
I feel like we need to have an ad for MailChimp.
MailChimp. You wanna
I could do
one?
it.
Drag those podcast.
Are you a small business looking to accelerate your marketing needs? Where's Randalorian? He knows. Anyways, I thought that creature was really cool. Something that Mandalorian did last year, the first couple episodes, is almost like they had a creature of the week kind of thing, which was
Yeah.
awesome.
Season 2 was like that.
Yeah.
And I think that man, again, they set up a good amount in this episode, but really, we don't know necessarily where the story's going. We know that there's going to be some sort of power struggle.
You know the players.
Now, I was reading something. I was reading something earlier. Did they drop the name of a city or a town that?
Mos Espa.
Yeah, but I thought it was something else. There's like something else that Alec
Yeah, it
Guinness
starts
said.
with an A. They talk about it's in that article you sent me.
I'll have to figure out what that was. I think it's where they're going to go look for the power converters.
Tashi Station?
I think they're going to go to Tashi
You're gonna go to
Station.
Tasha
Not-
Station?
it,
Anchorhead? You're talking about
Anchorhead.
Anchorhead?
Boba Fett knows
Anchorhead,
that.
Anchorhead, that's it. It's Anchorhead.
But when do they
That's-
reference
the
that?
power converters helped me. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
when-
Luke says that to Obi-Wan. I can get you as far as Anchorhead.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they say Anchorhead at some point in this episode of Book of Boba.
Yeah,
Fett.
he says
remember
the
that.
same thing to the Rhodian. We're so close to Anchorhead. I'll just take you there, and we'll. Isn't that what he says?
Oh,
There you go.
That's
All
how
right.
they'll get off world. Yeah.
Am I right?
No, I think you're right. I think you're
Mhm.
right. So I mean, again, cool little callbacks, things that get you thinking.
Was it a big reveal? I don't know. Maybe this is just me, pandemic brain. Was it a big reveal that Jabba's palace is in Mos Espa? I don't recall that from like anything.
You mean like the
post-Return of
actual
Jedi.
location
Yeah,
of
I
it?
was
That his
asking about
palace
that.
was near Mos Espa. I mean, you see him at the pod race, obviously.
Right,
like
right,
he's
yeah.
presiding over the pod race, which is in Mos Espa.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that his
Right.
palace was there. That's
No, I mean that. Yeah, I mean it makes
That makes
Geographically.
sense. I mean, he doesn't have to go far to catch the boot
Yeah.
to Eve.
the,
Well, I
Oh,
don't think. Yeah.
Greg Proops' character is the mayor. Well, it's hey, everybody, it's me, the mayor of Mos
We all improv. So, looking at the landscape of the season that we've got coming up, one thing that I'm wondering is, we know that this is kind of a standalone go-between between Mandalorian season 2 and 3. Do you think we're going to get any hint or crossover with some of those other Mandalorian characters to kind of build up some of that story, or you think this is going to be kind of a standalone that doesn't really go back down that road?
I mean, part of me wants to say no, just because the seasons are so short, and it's like, do we have time to be dedicating any kind of time to another show? But I feel like it's absolutely yes. There will be some sort of crossover,
right?
I could see Cobb Vanth showing up. That would just seems like not just
that
in
would
a
be cool.
Well, he'll show up. Well, he's clearly got to show up in some sort of flashback, right? In one of his back to
where did they?
He doesn't have to, but
where do they leave him off in season 2? I can't remember.
He just gave him the armor and was like,
"Yeah,
thanks for helping me out there, bud.
Yeah,
Here's your armor. And
he's just the sheriff. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
See your ass down the road."
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be. I mean, I think maybe Ahsoka deals with the Mandalorian side of things more than this.
Yeah. So Cobb Vanth, I could see showing up. Maybe Pelimoto.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Sedaris,
I just have a feeling, man,
Watto.
I would not be surprised if Boba gets in a bind at some point and Mando shows up in some form. Yeah, which would be it's what you want.
What if it's not Mando? What if someone like the Armorer shows up?
Sure,
that'd be cool.
I mean, how do the Mandalorians feel? I'm. Do they accept Boba Fett, or are they still annoyed with him?
No, there was that whole thing with
Costco Reeves,
and they were really upset that he was a clone. You know, that it was like, you're not purebred Mando.
You're a mudblood.
Yeah. God. So I wonder if that will play into it. That's a good point.
Yeah. So there's a lot they can go into, but obviously, for now, it's going to be exploring what's going on with this power dynamic on Tatooine, and somebody's going to have an issue with it very quickly, and
that's going to lead into.
I wonder if there's going to be like a main, villain or a main antagonist for him, or if it's
outside
just
of the mayor.
Yeah, exactly. Like if
Mayor Goldie Wilson.
I mean, that's what is it? 8 episodes? They have to.
7, yeah.
They got to establish that kind of thing pretty quickly, and
we're still in that time. So what's interesting to me is it's still in that time period, 7-8 years after Return of the Jedi. I mean, this might be bold prediction, but the history's there with Jabba and with Boba Fett. I would not be any surprised. That's a terrible sentence. I'm just going to go with it. I would not be any surprised. No, I would not be surprised at all if Han Solo shows up at some point on the show.
Alden
Orlando.
Orlando.
Yeah.
I do not think it will be
Orlando. Orlando will show up.
I would not.
What about
Orlando
Kira?
is going to be in this now.
Or Kira?
Could Kira show up? She's part of another.
Yeah.
Black
Underground.
Sun. Like, I bet Darth Maul, knowing what we saw in Solo.
Darth Maul's already dead.
Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It would be Kira then. Yeah.
Which I you know what? Out of everything from Solo, if they were going to explore something more, I think Kira is somebody who I think she's a good enough actress and an interesting enough character.
I get
Jake.
Remember earlier when I said I really like when they take stuff from the Star Wars I didn't like and make me like it? They can leave Solo out. That one, we can just leave that one alone.
No. What? Okay, here it is. Let me give you 3 options. Let's say Han Solo shows up at some point. Cameo, similar to Luke Skywalker. Here's your 3 options. 1, just pure Ehrenreich. Just Alden Ehrenreich playing Han Solo. That's your first option. 2, de-aged Harrison Ford. 3, Alden Ehrenreich with a Harrison Ford CGI face.
Can they do whatever? Just do whatever Afterlife did for their for their.
Okay, Ernie Hudson's playing Han Solo.
I don't think I'd want Ehrenreich. I didn't.
No,
I didn't
Okay.
think he was a very good Han Solo.
No, but
The
also
series is going to end with him and Fennec going by the old Lars homestead, and Rey's going to be there burying the lights.
40
See,
years.
it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yes.
But
I-
what if the Book of Boba is like going to take Aaron Reich and like make us all love him again?
No,
That
hold
could
on, real
be
quick. I want to
possible.
get to that, but what I love, the burying lightsaber thing makes no sense because the timelines aren't right. But what if it was she's burying him and someone's like, "What is she doing?" They're like, "She comes out every day and buries these lightsabers and then digs them up and buries them again."
and fills them with
all
water, and
day.
we don't know
She-
why.
She looks over and she sees the Force ghosts of Luke and Leia,
Yeah.
but it's just Boba Fett and Fennec.
Yeah.
It's not actually Luke and Leia. They're like,
No,
what?
we just stack
Why is she
watermelons.
staring at us?
Their job's to walk back and forth with a plate glass window.
Turns out that's all the sequels are. It's just in her head.
Yeah, it's the Truman Show.
Oh man.
Trilogy.
Can I float something out to everybody? Like,
Yeah, please.
the whole the showing the flashback from Attack of the Clones of him holding his father's head, and the whole implication that Mace Windu killed my father. I always had this headcanon that Boba Fett hated Jedi, and he had the Padawan braids and all the shit that's on the toys, that like he hates Jedi. Are we going to go down that path here? Like, I kind of started getting that sense in the first like 5-10 minutes that he was going to be pissed off about Jedi, and start like, once he amassed some power, and then here's maybe Luke Skywalker is training some Padawan learners, he's going to go try to start some shit. Like, do you think that that's where this goes?
Man, I can't see him going after Grogu because they had like, but again, these people, just because they had that bond and he's like, I owe him my life. Like, once that's done, he's like, all right, well, now I'm going to kill you. I don't.
Yeah,
know
but except they've made Boba Fett a good guy. Mandalorian made him a good guy, and he's, everybody likes, they know that the larger Star Wars community loves Boba Fett, and Mandalorian like kind of turned him around and made him like very lovable. And yeah, he had a face turn. So I don't think it makes any sense for once he finally gets his own show, they're gonna be like, hey, you know what? Fuck those Jedi. No, I think he's a stern, but he's a good guy now.
this
think
is a
that's
good
it.
one from
Yeah,
Kyle.
he's been through a lot.
Anakin would love his saber buried in steak.
No, he loves Stan.
It gets
Oh, it
everywhere.
feels-
No, Troy, I see what you're saying. I mean, I think with what they've done with, I kind of agree with Jake in the sense that they've kind of put in some work now to get, like, Boba Fett was bad for the first 39 years of Star Wars, and now you're kind of rooting for him, and he's good, and he transported Han Solo and Carbonite and all that, but we
It's
can
just a
forgive that.
job.
Yeah.
That was just a job. They've already
Right.
showed us he's just trying to get money. Like the whole the first episode of Mandalorian, that's all it's about, is just like, give me the next job. What pays most? Like
Right.
that was just does he even remember who Han Solo is? It's just his job.
probably.
He remembers, like,
I mean,
Ricardo
probably
pointed out
could put him in the
Mace
Sarlacc
Windu.
pit, but
Like,
What'd you say, Drew?
if Mace Windu, if Samuel L. Jackson some way somehow survived falling out of that Coruscant window,
yeah.
you could, nothing feeds more into the Western vibes of Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett than revenge. So
for
it's like,
sure.
if he learns that the guy that killed his father is still alive, yeah, he's gonna take Fennec and be like, we're gonna kill him.
I could
Listen,
I could buy
that is the
that
greatest
happening
thing I've
for
ever
sure.
heard.
I could buy that happening for sure, but I guarantee you
Yeah.
the only way that ends is like kind of like him letting that go. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way we're gonna see Boba Fett killing any Jedi. It's just not happening.
Unless it's Cal Kestis.
He's like, he's like,
My boy Cal.
Mace, do you think my father deserved to die? Yes, he deserved to die.
Oh,
Where's it
God.
And then he's like, what is hell? What is this? What is hell?
What is this hell?
What is hell?
If he deserved to die, then why did you team up with all his clones?
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Yeah.
Listen, let's not start trying to figure out plot holes in Star Wars. Well, we're at the hour mark. I mean, I want to make sure everybody gets all their points in, but there's not really that much more to unpack in this episode. So maybe we can start kind of winding down, give some final thoughts and predictions, and kind of tee up the rest of the season. Abby,
Yeah.
you watched it twice. How you
I
feeling?
sure did. I'm feeling good. Maybe looking forward to a little bit more of like the conflict, the setup that we're getting to. But I really love the cast of characters that were introduced in this episode, and I feel like I know and am familiar with most of them enough. And there's that, like we've talked about, the mixing of different eras and different parts, different entry points, as you said, Troy. So I just like to see this big amalgam. Like, and also let's talk about how wonderfully produced the show is, how the sound, just the credits at the end with the artwork, it's all just a treat to be getting into.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful to have it back.
I really wish I could watch these like in a movie theater.
Yeah, we stayed up till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
last night, Craig and I,
We did.
to watch it. It was
We
an
did.
event.
Mostly because I was up till 4 a.m. the night before just scrolling on eBay. I was like, well, if I could stay up for eBay, I could stay up for Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And I think before we go, just I wasn't really joking about the Han Solo thing. I really think something like that'll happen.
Yeah.
And I think here's the reason why. As great as the Luke Skywalker moment was last year, you see it on the Marvel Disney Plus shows. It has set a precedent that they can't live up to. So now every time it's a season finale of Falcon, Winter Soldier, or WandaVision or whatever, you're like, who's going to show
Magneto.
up?
Magneto's going to show up and fight Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Synergy.
I think like if they're going to have big moments like that, because I feel like there's a precedent for it and they can do it and people like it.
As long as it works for the story and they're not doing it for the sake of doing it.
Right.
Because if nothing like that does happen and the story is still awesome, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, story
Right.
first.
Just give me the fucking toys on time.
Yes.
I
Oh,
don't want to wait 2 years.
That's another
Well,
podcast.
little depressing that there's literally
Craig, you got
no...
the piano ready? I got some. I got some
You got some
stuff.
comments? There's no merchandise. There's no toys for Book of Boba Fett at the store. It's crazy. It's
Is it part of the plan to like make us pine for them more while they're on the TV?
I don't know, but I have a feeling they're going to be using this supply chain excuse for the next 25 years. We can get away for another year or two, but Jake, thoughts going forward? Are you excited? Are you ready to see what comes next?
Yeah, no, I'm excited for sure. I'm just kind of wondering where, I also rewatched the first episode of Mandalorian today. And, by the end of that first episode, he has met Grogu and you're kind of like, okay, this is what this show is about. I don't really know what Boba Fett is going to be about in the long run, other than the mayor thing. I don't know where it's going. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all, but that's what I'm most kind of intrigued about is like where this show is going to be 7 episodes from now.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Troy, how about you?
Yeah, I'm with Jake. I think that they had so much exposition they had to get in there to create the character of Boba Fett or resurrect the character of Boba Fett, as it may be. But in that first episode that they weren't able to set that up. So I think in the next like 1 or 2 episodes, we'll really get a sense of what the trajectory will be. And I kind of like my big prediction is we're not going to stay on Tatooine this whole time. Like I think I may be in the minority there. That everybody thinks this is going to be like a gangster, Godfather, Goodfellas-y, Breaking Bad kind of thing. But there's something's going to happen that's going to make him have to go off world. And I think that's going to happen sooner than later if it's going to happen. But so that's my big prediction. My other big prediction is it sets up Orlando, which is the Miami Vice kind of spinoff.
No, it's
Orlando.
it's Batu because it's in Orlando.
Okay.
Yeah,
but no, I think we will. I mean, the more that you guys were talking about Kira and all of the other subsects of like the dark, seedy underworld, underbelly of the Star Wars universe that we have, all of these different factions of crime lords and gangs and stuff like that. And I see Lando sort of like naturally sliding into that. And then maybe it sort of starts whatever that miniseries will be. But yeah.
I mean, I think there's Star Wars is in a weird place. I feel like we say that every year, but they announced all these shows on Disney Plus Day last year, and we know some of them are happening. Like we know Ahsoka's happening. We know Bad Batch happened. We know that,
There's a new one that got.
Well, let's talk about that
put out there as
one
well.
second.
Yeah.
I always almost call Obi-Wan Ewan McGregor. I almost always just call it that. Ewan McGregor's coming.
One and the same. One and the same.
Sure.
Well, let's talk about
Yeah.
that. So this what was it? ILM.
It was an ILM crew gift.
Yes. What
And it
was
had-
the gift? I've only
It
seen.
was
the
a
box.
record player. It's a briefcase, opens up, it's a record player, and on the inside it says Lucasfilm 50th anniversary. And the box for it had every show that is currently in production being worked on.
Right.
So it's not everything that was listed from Kathleen Kennedy 5 years ago or whatever that was.
Right.
It's everything that's currently being worked on. So it's like Indy 5, Willow, Obi-Wan, Bad Batch, and then there was Tales of the Jedi.
Right.
Mm.
What is that?
Cal Kestis.
The
Never
gal-
know if that's a joke or if it's serious.
I mean,
Cal Kestis.
so the logo was the Return of the Jedi font. I know
It
there was
looked just like the old Dark Horse comics.
Right,
It looked
the-
like the exact same.
So
logo.
tell me this: what was that? What was Tales of the Jedi in the comics? What was that?
It's what High Republic is now, more or less.
So
Troy?
so
Yeah?
it's books nobody's reading.
No, they
it
were
was
comics
Old
nobody was
Republic.
reading.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. They were actually really good comics, and they have some of the coolest covers I've ever seen. Not that the cover makes the comic, but to me, when I think of Tales of the Jedi, right away my brain goes to those awesome covers.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just old Republic stories.
Okay,
That's
so
kind of what I thought. Yeah, with especially with how they've been super focused on High Republic lately. Like, I don't know. I thought maybe it was some sort of a tie into that, or was just like what they're calling High Republic internally or something. But
right,
yeah,
And
Right,
also,
yeah.
There's no guarantee it could be a like an animated show.
It
Like
could be-
there's no
when-
guarantee that it's
when it's called Tales of the Jedi, that makes me think that every episode's its own thing. You know, like it might
Right.
be.
Mhm.
That seems like there's not one through line. So
well, because what I wanted to be is Luke Skywalker sitting around a campfire explaining old stories of the Jedi.
I want Teenage Yoda and Teenage Yaddle.
Craig, I want that so badly. Like what you
Right.
like. It's like Tales from the Crypt, but instead of the Crypt Keeper, it's just Luke Skywalker starting and ending every episode.
you
telling
guys
a
say
story.
this, but that was
Oh.
what young Indiana Jones was. It was Harrison Ford with an eye patch, acting all old and telling stories about when he was a kid, and everybody's like, "I don't want to watch that. I don't care for that." He's like,
Let me
It
tell you
was
about the time.
awesome.
He's like,
No, I want a musical that's about Yoda in high school,
Okay.
and he sings about trying to hook up with Yaddle. That's what I want.
yeah, yes. Nobody wants that. But yeah,
It's
I
called
will-
Grease 2.
so this all this to say is they have a lot in development. Star Wars on film seems like it's nobody knows what's going on, right? So the
Right.
Patty Jenkins movie is
movie
all
got
but
canceled, right?
Delayed. Yeah.
it's all but gone. The
Oh, is it gone? I thought it was
It-
just delayed.
well, it's been bumped from the
Delayed.
Delayed.
bumped from the production schedule. Rumors of creative differences. It kind of is interesting because same with the Rian Johnson trilogy, bumped from the production schedule. The only two confirmed publicly known on the books Star Wars film projects right now are the Taika Waititi movie, whatever that ends up being, and then Kevin Feige is producing a Star Wars movie. And that's it. So really TV is where Star Wars is at right now, and it's really great. I'm not mad about that. It's just interesting. Just something to think about. So
Mhm.
anyways. Well, how do we feel? We're all excited about
Can I
the
just
Boba
say
Book
one
Club?
thing?
Yeah, go
Mhm.
for
One
it.
thing I hope to see in this is a practical hut.
Yeah, that's what
Ooh.
I want.
Right.
I want a
Awesome
practical hut. You can bring back Bosk, Dengar, whoever you want to bring, or you can bring in the Black Sun. We can see Shizor type characters in live
Shizor,
action for the
yeah.
first time, all that kind of stuff. But I really want to see the return of a practical hut.
You know what would go good with our Boba Book Club logo is a Pizza Hut style logo that
Oh.
says Practical Hut.
Practical hut.
So
Whoa.
Dude!
So
I want that
good.
T-shirt. Let's make that T-shirt now.
I should
Ah.
announce this, by the way. If
Yeah.
everybody sees the Boba Book Club logo in the top right corner that's covering Jake's face right now,
That's where they always put the stamp on the cover. Why?
we do have vintage style 3-inch pin buttons of that logo. It's just like the old Book It logo that we're going to have available. I think we got about 100. They're only going to be a couple bucks. Just to kind of cover our cost. And my original idea is to make it a challenge, like prove that you watched all 8. We're going to give you a clue at the end of every
And
episode.
your parents have to initial next to each
Yes.
one.
Prove
Yeah, a
that
little
you
pencil
gotta
check.
solve the riddle.
wait, should we do that?
In Canada,
Yeah.
there's
Let's
like
do it.
different rules.
There's a secret word of the day for each episode. And at the end, you have to submit a form with all 8 of the words, and then you'll get a canvas bag and a button.
Yes.
By
Seems
the
like
way,
a-
the secret word will be
But
posted
also
in my
$3.
reminder when the show starts,
Mm.
and I'll have it put in there. So you have to be part of group therapy
Mm-hmm.
in order to know what the secret word is.
Should we do it that way? And we'll drop. No, we'll
Wait,
drop.
how are we?
no,
What's the secret word?
Should we not have
I just
figured that
wanna
out
come up with
before
the
the
secret
first
word.
episode?
here's the plan. We're not going to give you the secret word anywhere else, but within the context of the episode. And you have to get all 8 to get your free pin. That's what we're
Jeez.
gonna do.
That seems like a lot of work for
That's
us.
too much. Why
Oh,
don't
yeah.
we? Hey, why don't we have like a character, a cartoon
How about you
character
just
that
pay for the
appears,
fucking bin?
and
All
whenever
right,
that
we'll just sell the
happens-
pins.
Okay.
But I still want to have a secret
Jake's
word.
Getting too old for this shit.
Today's secret
word
word.
is-
Today's secret word is Jacob's getting too old for this shit.
Water acorn.
No, what was the thing from earlier? Elephant.
Elephant.
Elephant. Elegant elephant.
It was like a
That would've-
vanilla font.
It
Benevolent.
was benevolent.
Vanellephant.
Elephant.
Kind
Vanellephant.
elephant.
That's the word
kind
of this episode.
Thank you, Troy. Yeah, that's the word.
But anyways,
Write it down.
We'll have
Any
those,
spelling is accepted.
we'll have those buttons available. I'm getting them shipped quickly, so hopefully by
Everyone,
next
write
week.
down the first word, man. First word is benevolent.
We're just gonna get a bunch of gibberish words.
Where are they going to be
Spelling
sending them?
count.
I don't want a bunch of emails or snail
Just say
mails.
bum elephant.
Benevolent.
Contact Craig.
Ah,
Craig's cell phone
YHS@gmail.com.
number is
I'm going to give you the first 6 digits to my cell phone.
No.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of letters come in like Hogwarts.
Hey, you know what'd be funny? If at the beginning of an episode I gave out the first 5 digits of my cell phone number and said, whoever can figure out the last 2 and call me live on the show gets a button.
That's funny.
It's gonna happen.
Again, not doing that.
terrible for everybody in your area code.
Yes, yes.
Ah.
Somebody keeps going.
Yeah, I'm like a couple numbers.
That's got
off.
the 4th call. Somebody keeps screaming benevolent at me. So let's do this. Let's call it. I do want to say, if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching live or if you're watching on the replay, make sure that you are subscribing to the channel, leaving us a like on this video. That helps us get us more eyes, and leave a comment. And we are also going to have this on the regular YHS podcast feed. So wherever you're listening, we appreciate it. Tune in Friday nights, 10:30-ish is when we're going to be doing this for the rest of the season. I'm super excited. We're going to have other guests rotating in and out to talk Star Wars with us. Troy's going to be with us the entire time. Let's get our other plugs out of the way. Jacob Walsh, if people want to see, I'm going to just put you on the spot. If people want to see your tattoos, where do they go?
Jacob Walsh Tattoos on Instagram.
There you go.
If they want to hear your other
Tattoos
show
there.
about other cool things, where do they go?
I think it's on Spotify. It's just YHS on Monster Island. I let Jay and Craig handle that side of the thing.
Yeah, there you go.
I just
There
do
you
the
go.
talking. I'm on so many episodes now that I can't do any extra work. So
Jake is mostly podcast.
YHS on Monster Island.
Yeah.
If you want to hear us talk about monsters.
Obviously, we've got Toy Anxiety every Tuesday night at 9:30 here on the channel. And then Troy, like I said earlier, Ghostbusters Interdimensional Cross Rip. You guys have over 6 years of backlogged content. Incredible Ghostbusters podcast. The best, the beautiful, the only Ghostbusters Interdimensional Cross Rip. And you are also a writer and an author, and you have books available. We were at Acme Toys in Orlando, Florida. And they had a beautiful copy of the Wakanda Files by Troy
Mhm.
Benjamin. And I was like, this is great.
That was
Troy
pretty
wrote
cool.
a book, and now it's
Yeah.
in the store.
Mhm.
Sent me that picture, and I was like, it's there. It's out there.
It's
I
out
love it.
there.
Mhm.
And was that your last release?
That was the last one I did. Yeah, Wakanda Files is the last book, so you can still pick that up. It's everywhere, and there's 2 versions of it. One's got the cool UV light on it that has all the hidden stuff from the War Dogs. But yeah, check it out.
Cool. And other books, other
And other
Marvel
books.
and
Yeah, you
Ghostbusters
Yeah, other
and-
books. They're cool.
I got other stuff.
All sorts of neat stuff.
But also, I want to give a shout out to Manscaped because I feel bad. I was gonna shave because I didn't want to be.
That's fun.
Thank you, Troy.
Now that promotion's over, so that's just that's just a free shout
That's
out
just for
to
Troy.
Manscaped.
Yeah.
There you go, Manscaped.
Now
That's
now
for
they
you.
owe us.
Now they own
This
us.
box just arrived, you guys.
We're gonna sell out.
Oh wait, do you really have it? You've got a Manscaped?
No, I'm just kidding.
Dang, that's cool. We no Troy, we're happy to have you here, and it's great to all talk about Star Wars every week. I
Glad to be
guess
here.
until next time, make sure if you've got on Mandalorian armor and you're in a precarious situation, don't let the Jawas steal it from you. Come on.
Yeah, don't get drunk in front of Jawas. They will
Don't pass
take
that
your
around.
shit.
Absolutely.
Drop your phone,
Careful.
they'll take it.
Vigilance.
Well, listen, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. For Ryan Dole, Jacob Walsh, Troy Benjamin, and Abigail Gardner,
Yeah.
my name is Craig Goldberg. This has been
The Max Rebo 2-part band.
this is
Oh,
this is
nice.
the new Max Rebo song.
The new Max Rebo.
We will see everybody next week.
Benevolent.
Benevolent. Benevolent. I feel like I'm at horror nights. I like this music.
I want to be a benevolent leader.
You mean the Hornets in Orlando?
Yeah. Orlando. I love you, Orlando.